we one bliss. Someone flips me a back body. So, it's another one, yeah. It's a first one, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Yes, fight fans, we are back. It's Hard Talk USA, and I am joined tonight by my good friend Jams from Boxing Media Hub. How are you, mate? Quickly.
I am very good, cheers, Neutral, my brother. Looking forward to
That's
the
what
show.
I love to hear, my man. That's what I love to hear. And I thank you for joining me tonight on Macho Hard Talk USA, where we're going to be joined by a couple of legends on Twitter. Remy's Corner Talks and Matt MVO, courtesy of Brunch Boxing. But in the meantime, I have to say, this show is sponsored by D-Rock Clothing. Check out the website and the links below. There they are. And you can check out their full attire as worn by the greats of Johnny Nelson, Joseph Parker. And who's that? It's Jams himself. There you go. You know, Jams is on it. Take advantage of the promotional offer that iBoxingHub give you, and that is iBoxingHub 24 in the promo code, and enjoy 40% off all your discounts. Now, welcome. This is Hard Talk USA. It's all about Ryan Garcia in the preliminary stage of this debate. And Jams, we had the news yesterday. Ryan Garcia, 1 year suspension, could be more, depending on certain conditions laid down by the NYSEC. 1.2 million fine, of which will go to what they called again, Golden Boy, right?
Yeah.
$10,000 fine, $10,000 fine by the NYSEC, and a disqualification stroke no contest, which includes Devin Haney getting his 0 back and still undefeated super lightweight champion of the world. However, questions have been asked about Ryan Garcia. He has been found guilty of strict liability by the NYSAC. He has since said, I'm officially retired for that time. There he is there, saying it on the Twitter. But, Jams, I come to you. You've heard the ruling. First and foremost, are we satisfied that that's fair under the current circumstances?
I don't think you're going to like my answer, Mr. Neutral, sir. I don't think it's fair. I think Ryan Garcia popped dirty. Not only was he caught the 2 times during these testings, he's also now been proven, according to Michael Benson, to have popped dirty a 3rd time. And that test is to come out soon. So for me, a year is a joke. He probably wouldn't have fought for a year anyway. I think it's disgraceful. I think he should either never box again or a 5-year ban. And Devin Haney certainly should have got his 0 back anyway, because he lost to a drugs cheat who was on performance enhancing drugs. So I don't think there's an argument here, to be quite honest with y'all. I do not understand people that stick up for Ryan Garcia when he's a known performance enhancing drug user. Whether he meant it or not, it's his responsibility to make sure that he does not take performance enhancing drugs, and he did.
And that was the massive mistake that he made, was taking supplements after the NYSEC have said in their rulebook, do not take supplements fight week.
Exactly.
Yet he did. Now, what I will say, and this is what I want to address a message to Twitter, especially, not, obviously, Jams, this is nothing to do with you. Right?
I'm sure it's not, brother.
No, the message is, right? I think it's very unfair until Ryan Garcia can prove the innocence of cheating, right? Strict liability, guilty, no question, year. $1.2 million fine, disqualification, and all year round testing is what I'm hearing.
No
For me,
contest, not a disqualification. It was not a
no
disqualification.
contest. For me, under strict liability rules and regulations that the anti-doping agencies give to NYSEC, that is fair. However, there is more, Jams, right? Of which is written in the words of Ryan Garcia's lawyer when he said, and listen to this.
I imagine it'll be fun.
Ryan Garcia has struck a deal with the NYSEC, and this is the wording, to an indefinite suspension to serve at least 1 year. Now, if they were so adamant that he was guilty, they would have given him a straight out 4-year ban. Am I wrong?
No, but at the same time, if he was so absolute innocent, he would have fought it to the tooth and nail to make sure he didn't get that kind of ban.
Right. But as it happens, he has claimed from day one, I'm innocent. Listen, we don't care. Strict liability. Let's remember that. First and foremost, every argument and debate and point you bring up about this, strict liability, he's guilty. But my point being, do you not think that it's ambiguous language coming from the NYSEC when they say you must serve at least 1 year? What does that mean? Has he got a year to prove that his supplements have been contaminated? And will that be suffice once he does do that, if he can? Who knows? Will that be justifiable in your eyes as time served?
No, not for me, mate. I think he should have got a 5-year ban anyway. I think after a year they should look at it and determine that he proved to cheat and he should get a longer ban. That's what I think should happen. But I'm not in there. I'm not the one doing the testing. But all I know is that Ryan Garcia, whether intentionally or not, cheated. He had performance-enhancing drugs. He needs to be punished. We need to send a message to these YouTuber-like boxers who think that fame is more important than the great sport we love, that he needs to pull his head out of his fucking arse and actually start fighting again and not being a bitch, posing online, taking drugs, snorting cocaine, smoking weed, bragging about it to children, thinking it's cool and ruining it for the next generation. That's what I think, Neutral.
And Jams has spoken about King Ryan Garcia, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we have Matt in the building, Brunch Boxing's entrepreneurial genius and space. Oh, mate, you're just great. How you doing, big man?
Hey, what's going on, Steve? How you doing, man? How you
I'm
doing?
great. Absolutely fantastic. I'm stoked you're here, by the way, because you're coming in an auspicious moment. We've just been talking about the NYSEC, Matt, and the ruling that they have given Ryan Garcia. As you tweeted in your tweet, a measure of justice for Devin Haney. But can we say that with loose lips, in the sense that Ryan Garcia, and first and foremost, do you think the ruling's fair? But is there a sense that there's been a bit of a witch hunt against him at this time? Let me know what you think.
Well, if we're being honest, it wasn't really a ruling that was made. What happened was the NYSAC and Ryan Garcia's team got together and they agreed on a settlement. So what you're seeing is the terms of the settlement. It's not like they made a ruling because, like I said, I steadfastly maintain that if Ryan Garcia really wanted to fight this, that he has a case because the NYSAC filed this up from the word go. Okay, but to me, Ryan Garcia deciding to settle this case is tacit acknowledgement that he cheated.
It's an
You know?
admission of guilt.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we do have something over here called an Alfred plea, where you say that you feel like you're not guilty, but the evidence is gonna show that maybe you're guilty, so you don't think you're gonna win. Maybe he could try to skate on that because we still see that he's tweeting that he didn't do anything wrong. But at the end of the day, there's no disputing that the drugs were in his system. Okay. Now, how they got there is what's up for debate. Now, the reason why it's a minimum year and not um, say like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because what they want to do is Ryan Garcia's team has some obligations that they're going to have to fulfill for the terms of the settlement. If he fulfills the terms of the settlement, then it'll be for a year. If he files up in the next well, not even a year now because it's backdated to 420. But if he files up anytime before April 20th, then the commission reserves the right to extend the ban and lay the hammer down on him. So that's why you hear the minimum of 1 year, because he has some things that he needs to do. The same way when Canelo Alvarez got popped for clenbuterol by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, he was given a minimum of 6 months. He was able to complete all the terms of the agreed upon punishment. So that's the reason why he only got 6 months ultimately. So we'll see if Ryan Garcia, who's, let's be honest, he's shown to be erratic to say the least. We'll see if he's able to complete the terms of the settlement.
Does this third rumoured test that's come out that he's popped dirty in, does that change this at all? Michael
No.
Benson has reported tonight that he's popped dirty a third time. That was not in
It was
this
done the same
agreement.
day, James. It was done the same day. It's the same piss.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, I was
It
saying
doesn't.
apparently
It
there's
doesn't add.
another one
It
that was
doesn't
outside
add.
of this
Yeah.
agreement. Does that change it
It
at all?
doesn't add any credence to the
It doesn't
current.
make it like he's more likely to get a longer sentence or like that.
It's just ammunition at the end of the day.
Okay,
Look, we
so
can
they're
all
just battering
agree,
him while he's down.
and we can all agree, and finally put this to bed, right? And for me, especially after all the activity on Twitter this week, it's unfortunate that people have translated my tweets and my comments as defending Ryan. Obviously, that's for the fucking casuals. I'm purely here to point out the rules and the regulations. And people, oh, you're defending Ryan. You fucking breath stink. Fuck off. If you're under 18, get out of my fucking show now. Right? I don't do kids. If you're on Twitter, I don't do fucking kids. All the rest of it. My opinion's my opinion. If you don't like it, scroll on by.
Exactly,
Don't
mate.
give a
Everyone's
fuck
entitled
what
to
you
their
say.
opinion, brother. You know what I mean?
However, I come with facts. Matt, I want to come back to you about the NYSEC and the final point about this so we can put it to bed. We know that on the day of the fight, they failed to do or they broke procedure. Is that still the case?
So I updated the situation last week in an article that I wrote that apparently fell on deaf ears because for some reason Dan Rayfield is getting credit for something I reported last week on the 14th. But I had a second source tell me.
Is there any way of Matt turning his volume up?
Oh, can you hear me now?
I'm struggling to hear you, bro. That's all.
I can hear you, Matt. I can hear you.
All right.
Oh, it must be on my end then.
So I did a story last week about the ongoing saga of the Ryan Garcia test. And a second source told me that the commission did indeed do a test, but they sent it to the wrong lab. So what I was told, and it's in the story, and it's been up there since the 14th, you can go back and look at it yourself, was that they sent it to Quest Diagnostics, which does not test for PEDs. They test for drugs of abuse like marijuana, cocaine, heroin, crystal meth, stuff of that nature. I actually use, I've done Quest Diagnostic testing before for hiring for jobs. Anybody that lives in the United States is very familiar with Quest, you know. So I did report that last week. Now, personally, I didn't believe it because I refuse to believe that a commission could be so inept that they would send a drug testing sample to a wrong lab that doesn't even test the PEDs. But it turned out to be 100% true. They actually did that. And what happened was, after VADA came back with the positive test, they then took the B sample and sent it to the correct lab to get it tested for PEDs. Which
Right, Matt, we're
is not right.
slowly losing you, the sound there, mate. I don't know if you're in a tunnel. I know you're driving, mate, but I think I get what you're saying. The they sent the test that they did to the wrong lab instead of the one in Utah.
Correct.
And when that come back as clear, they sent the B sample that VADA did and send that off instead. Is that what you're saying?
No, they sent the B sample that they had because they had no reason to open up the B sample because their test came back clear. But the test that they did not test for PEDs. Once VADA had their test come back for PEDs, then they went and backtracked and tracked down that B sample and then sent it to the correct lab.
Correct, lab. And that tested for ostarine, as did the first test on the 19th and the 21st of April. So it all marries up. There's no surprise there. For me, it doesn't add any credence.
No,
So
can I ask you a quick question, bro, before you carry
on you go, Jams, on you go.
Yeah. What happened with the alleged, of course, it's alleged, that Ryan Garcia contaminated his own sample? He opened a bottle,
Yeah.
sent it in, and sent it in contaminated to try and fool the testing situation. Is that true, or has that been disproved? Do we know?
Right. Well, that's hearsay for a start.
That's why I said supposedly.
For me, you can't just go and say, yeah, he done it himself. You know, in my eyes, what right-minded person who is guilty would try to contaminate two supplements?
I feel you
Different,
there, bro. But what right-minded person will go on the internet and start talking about being
exactly.
kidnapped
But
by aliens and being fucking
yeah,
abused
but
by
one thing
these
about
people who don't
Ryan
exist?
Garcia, and again, I'm not
I think we know he's a
defending
bit
him.
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, don't we?
Yeah, is he's bipolar as fuck, mate.
I know all about that, mate.
Right? He's 1 minute he's up, 1 minute he's down. You don't know, and he comes out the most disgusting stuff.
He really does.
As bipolar victims do.
I think he should change retired to retarded myself on that
But
one.
the thing is, Jams, as I come back to you and your own thoughts on this. Right, he's popped out. It's done and dusted now. He's got the year. It could be more if he doesn't prove contamination, which if he doesn't, quite rightly so, throw the fucking book at him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but what happens now is he's got that year off. For me, his stock has not been damaged in that because when he comes back, the PPV value is going to go through the roof no matter who he fights.
This is what's killing me, brother.
You know, where is the fine line between punishment and profit?
This is what's killing me. Ryan Garcia has become a bigger star for being a drugs cheat than Devin Haney has for playing fair. Yeah, people called him a weight bully, but that was inside the boxing rules. Yeah, he'd go a few pounds up, water weight and whatnot. That's fair enough. But Ryan Garcia actually popped dirty. He took performance-enhancing drugs to gain an advantage to hurt a man in the most dangerous sport on earth. That should not gain recognition. He should not gain fans from this. He should be losing fans at a rate of 100,000 a day, not gaining them. But all these little kids nowadays think it's cool. It's, yeah, man, he cheated the system. He cheated the boxing people. He cheated the real fighters. He cheated Devin Haney. He done this, that, the other. It's a fucking joke and it's a disgrace and it needs to stop. And that's why people like Ryan Garcia need to be dealt with properly so it doesn't happen again and someone lose their life.
Very well said, Jams.
I'm sorry, but it's true, mate. It's just so
That's why
true. You know what I
that's why
mean?
I love that's why I love you tell it to me straight of other people fanny about with innuendos and all the fuck. You know what? Fuck off.
Fuck off with all
You
that shit, innit, bro? You
say
know
it
what I mean?
straight. That's what I admire.
It's the only way, my
Right,
pal. It's the only way. It's the only way. You know what I
exactly.
mean? People can die in this ring. People risk their life for our entertainment.
Absolutely. And, you know, since 2001, 37 have lost their lives. And
Exactly,
who
including
knows
that
to,
Brit earlier this year. Bless him. You're
and who
cool.
knows to how many who have been on heads. We'll never know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now,
Or had tampered gloves or
yeah,
Paris of plaster in their hands, plaster of Paris in their hands. You know what I mean? You just don't know,
yeah.
man. I
Well,
talked
Jack,
about it on my show the other day, you know.
I'm
Just
gonna
it's
say one last thing about this before we move on about the Ryan Garcia case. Guilty as fuck, right?
yeah.
Guilty as fuck.
Either by on
Punished
purpose, he either
suitably.
intentionally did or he's accidentally cheated, but either way he's cheated.
I don't care. Punished suitably, right? With more to come if he fails to prove contamination, which is not looking good, by the way, Jams. I have
It's
to
not.
admit, I have given Ryan Garcia every afforded privilege in defending himself, even to the extent of losing friends who are in this chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen you've had a fallout or two, yeah,
that's
definitely.
the
Because you go on
reality
Garcia's
of
side.
this. Where
Yeah.
they fail to see my stance being a defender of the rules and protocol, right? I don't care if it's Ryan Garcia. If that had happened to Devin Haney,
You'd have
I'd
been the
defend
same.
Devin Haney
And
like
that's
I
why I
did,
love you neutral, because
like
you're
I did,
neutral. You're
like I did
neutral.
Amir Khan in 2022 when he failed against Kell Brook, Jams.
You were the
He's
same
still,
then.
still, he's still to this day, and he's retired. He's got nothing to lose. He still says to this day, well, I never took Osterine.
Yeah.
I'll learn that lesson and I fast forward that to here and go, right, what's the fucking likelihood here? Osterine, poor man's peds, the cheapest ped out there. Am I to
It is a
believe that
strange choice.
am I to believe this cunt cheated? But listen, that's by the by. He cheated. Strict liability. It's there.
That's it.
Black and
Whether he
white.
meant it or not, that's my point,
It
mate. You
can
know,
be.
whether he meant it or
Right,
not, he
Jams?
cheated by lack of skill, by lack of knowledge, by lack of doing what he was supposed to do. He's in the high level. He's got trainers that know better than to let him drink anything that would have that in. So if he has done it by contamination, it's still his fault.
Exactly. But the
You know
man,
what I mean?
as others do, have the right to defend themselves through protocol and procedure.
Yeah.
Right. Jams, do me a favor. There's been a lot of messages in the chats. Can you read them out? Because you're a better reader than me.
I can try, mate, but my eyes are a bit blurred. Now TGA strength of the ped matters. Wow. Would say the same if it was Haney. Yeah, neutral would as well. He genuinely would. He's literally 50-50, mate. He don't pick him any fighter. Trust me, mate. He's
That's one
down the
of the
line on every fighter.
people I was talking about, Jams, who are.
Yeah, this is nothing you haven't been told straight before. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Neutral knows what he's doing. Hashtag hard talk. Big up.
Cranks. Do you know what?
You care
Objective
about the stock of money
journalism
more
is
than the fact he
so
cheated nasty
frowned
work. Yeah, but
upon.
Neutral doesn't care about that more. It's just he's just producing the facts. That's all. He's arguing the side. That's what we're here to do. We're here to debate. You know, he's not saying he's a Ryan Garcia fan and he wants to marry him. He's just saying that that's what he believes to be the rules, and he's telling you the facts.
Facts, brother. Facts.
It
They
is
misinterpret.
FA
I'm
triple
not Ryan.
X
What the fuck
facts.
have I got to defend Ryan Garcia for? Does he put food on my table, Jams? Does he fuck?
Never, and he
I
never
will
will.
defend boxing and the rules and protocol. If you
Exactly.
translate that as Ryan fucking Garcia defending, get to fuck, get off my fucking podcast.
Never
You're a
happened.
casual, and I don't want you here. Fuck
It
off.
never happened, mate. No one's thinking
Right.
that. Surely,
Moving
no one's
on.
thinking that.
The Ryan Garcia case is closed, gentlemen and ladies, and aliens and reptilians that may be in this chat. Right? Haney. Let's move on to Devin Haney.
Yes.
Quite
Let's see
rightfully,
what's
he's had
next
his
for
no
Devon.
contest disqualification. He's got his 0 back under the rules of the NYSCC, which I abdicate to. He got suspended.
But he's going to take some time.
But all of a sudden, Devin Haney wants to take a year off, Jams. And my bullshit radar's gone off.
Same.
Ping, 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 ping. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Isn't it
Yup.
funny to you that Devin Haney says, I'm retiring for a year, the same time as Ryan Garcia will be suspended upon conditions that he satisfies? Very strange behavior. If we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia's behavior, let's talk about fucking Devin Haney.
Yeah,
Right?
Liam Cameron's just lost, though, neutral. Liam Cameron's just lost to Lyndon Arthur.
That was a given.
He's just lost.
Let's
Only just
talk
so.
about
The split, I believe.
Devin Haney. Right.
Devastated.
When Bill Haney come on to Twitter with a video of them all on the rooftop of I don't know what high rise it was. Do you remember that? After the weigh-in and after they signed up for the fight, Bill Haney says, I am sending my son in to commit homicide.
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah.
Tell you what, though, Ryan said the same
There
thing.
has been some terrible rhetoric coming from Devin Haney, and quite frankly, some, let's say, childish behavior in this defeat that he suffered, which has now been ruled a no contest.
Yeah.
He's wanting money off Golden Boy that should be split between him, the NYCC, and VADA, no less.
He's actually still going after the money as well.
He's still, and he's now suing Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he's suing him directly for
He's
more
tried
money.
He's tried to petition YouTube to take every single Ryan Garcia video of
Yeah,
him
but they've already
beating Devin
demonetised
Haney.
him. According to Ryan, they've demonetised him already. They've already demonetised him. They're taking all his money already. But that's just YouTube without Devin Haney. Now Devin Haney wants to make more money off him. And he's saying that he wants a share of everything that was ever mentioned about him losing because it's ruining his revenue for future earnings. And that's why it was only $2.2 million for the Sandor Martin purse bids that only Bob Arum and Top Rank
Wasn't even
made
that, James. It was 1.4 million after you took the 10% winners fee out.
Bloody
and
hell, that's what I mean.
The split. No.
But he's saying that his future earnings have been
So
damaged
he's
by this
taken a
loss.
year. Yeah, he's taken a year out of the game. Bob Arum, Eddie Hunt.
Love Bob
Eddie
Arum.
Hunt,
What a geezer at 93.
He moaned about Eddie Hunt not paying for the purse bid, not even turning up. And, you know, Bob Arum made a very, well, I would consider a very generous offer, considering the loss or the no contest that Devin Haney suffered.
And the lack of interest here for
And the lack of interest. For me, taking a year off, he's losing his belt. He's losing the possibility of unification.
Yeah.
He is losing revenue, a year's worth of revenue from what? 2, 3 possible fights?
Gotta be by the time it happens again.
All for a Ryan Garcia rematch. Make this make sense to me, because you don't take a guy to court Obviously, he's the one that's been found guilty. You
Yeah,
don't see what you said, then threaten to sue him, and then expect a rematch. But Ryan Garcia has done just that, Jams.
that's all
He
right,
has
mate.
extended the olive branch to Devin Haney, was saying, I forgive you, let's run it back.
Well, I think what happened was
Uh,
Devon sent Ryan a message first saying, enjoy your year ban. And then
yeah,
Ryan sent one back saying, let's run it back. And Devon said, okay, then let's do it. So it's madness. It's almost like it was prearranged. It's like it was scripted. Like they've just made this up just to con the public into paying more and more money. Because imagine the size and the magnitude of this fight. It really does
mate,
sound like that, doesn't it?
you
It
are
sounds like it was
fucking
preempted,
on the
pre-scripted.
ball. There's no other reason why Ryan Garcia, or sorry, Devin Haney would wait a year for a rematch other than a fucking payday, which he
Exactly.
wouldn't get anywhere else.
And
The
did you hear
Ryan
what he said?
Garcia Devin Haney rematch would generate twice as much interest as the first fight, right?
Oh, and the
Let's get
rest,
that
yeah.
straight. Both
And
of
the
them after a
rest.
year off, both back in the ring. The big rematch comes back, and these two motherfuckers
Con
have
men, con
played
men,
every
con
single
men.
one of you bastard casuals out there on Twitter with your big fucking views, thinking you're all this and that, jumping on the bandwagon when you've been played all along. These two motherfuckers have played you cunts all along. And how
I
do
tell you
you
what, though, it's going
feel?
to be some big money in the rematch. There's going to be
Of
some
course it
big boy
is.
money in that
Of course it is,
rematch.
because the casuals on Twitter have made
Ryan
it so.
Garcia fans, you mean? Ryan Garcia fans. That's what we're talking about here.
Both
We're talking
sets are
about
just
Ryan
as
Garcia
guilty.
fans.
Both sets are just as guilty. And the
I won't go
powers
that
that
far
be
myself,
the
Nooch. I wouldn't.
Heaney's and the Garcias, have all got behind closed doors and
I
they've
think
struck out a fucking bargain. Because isn't it strange
I
that
think that was already arranged. I definitely think it was already arranged,
that
but I think it's more the
exactly,
Garcia fans. I think it's more the
isn't it
Garcia fans than the
strange
Haney
that the
fans.
day Garcia gets suspended, his lawyer comes out and says,
I'd say
we
his name, but I can't
struck
remember it
a
now. Like Tom
deal with
Ligowicz or
the
something. It's some Jewish
Haneys.
name. I can't even work it out, you know. Tom Lovowicz or Wickowicz or something. I
Sam
don't even know, but I
Lekovitz.
know what you're on about.
Sam Lekovitz.
That's the geezer. That's the geezer.
So you know, ladies and gentlemen, you've all been fucking fooled. These two clowns have
Have
played
played
us
us like a
all
fiddle.
because Devin Haney can't get another $35 million fight.
Well, look, he had a
Do the
2.2
fucking
or
math.
1.4 against Sandor.
Use your noodle that's up there as casuals and think beyond the penalty box. These
Fair
people want
play.
your money.
Well, that's the aim of boxing, isn't it? Is to get your money. That's the aim of every sport, mate, to be
Don't care
honest.
about you as casuals sticking up for them on Twitter, kissing their ass.
They don't care about anyone but themselves. Look at what Devon
Have
said.
an
He said,
opinion by all means, but take your fucking tongues out of their asses. They don't pay you.
yes,
They
sir.
don't
I
pay
agree.
you.
I agree. I
Have an
agree.
objective view. Do what I do. Do what Jams does. Have an objective view.
Just have an opinion on it without getting too far up the crevice that you get
There
stuck.
you go. There
You
you
know what I
go.
mean? But yeah,
Now we seem
Devon
to have
did
lost.
say,
We seem to
sorry,
have lost
neutral. Devon
connection
did
to
say
Matt.
when he comes back, he's going to come back at any weight of his choosing. What did you think to that comment?
The £3 didn't fucking matter come fight night when he signed a new deal for a prize fight. All those who
Exactly.
say the
And he
way
was
to
happy to take the
£3, you're
500k
all
per bloody
casuals.
pound.
Fuck off.
He was happy to take the 500k per pound, and he said
He
he'll
took
come
a
back and fight him
$35
at any weight.
million
So
prize fight.
you see, I
Prize
was on
fight.
Devon's side earlier, but now I'm a realist. I'll talk the facts. And Devon also said that he'll come back and fight him up at 147 or even 154. So
Bill Haney said on top of the roof in the Barclays Center in New York City £3 don't matter. I'm sending my
Gonna
son in to
murder him.
kill him.
Yeah, I remember that. That's what
It didn't
disgusted me. And then
happen,
when
ladies and
Garcia said it, I got
gentlemen.
banned for it.
Right? And nobody on earth is going to convince me that contamination levels of 0.6 nanograms dissipated from 2 grams is still contamination levels, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not
That's
going to
not
make a
cheating
difference in the
levels.
fight, but it's still
It
cheating because
doesn't
it was in
make
his
a
system.
difference.
But we've ended that one anyway, haven't we? We've ended that
He
one.
kept getting clips, jams by that left hook time again.
Oh, and he will again. And he will again. He will
Well,
again in a rematch, even when both are clean. He will again.
I'm
You know what
glad
I
you
mean? But
reminded me of that. Let me take you back to the Linares fight. Do you remember that?
Jorge
When
Linares, yeah, great fight, mate.
when
Yeah.
the same shot in the 10th round, at the very end of the round, Linares caught him with what? Left hook.
Same left.
And he done the stanky leg. I went, oh,
He's looking
that
like he's
motherfucker's
going.
got a defense flaw. And I was looking for it in every fight. Loma didn't produce it. Regis didn't produce it until Ryan Garcia. That's,
Yeah.
for me, that's his Achilles heel.
Oh,
Is a left hook,
100%.
especially from a southpaw, which Linares and Ryan Garcia were.
Yeah, definitely.
And for me, taking on Linares, caught him with a right hand. Well, a right hand that took him on the right cheek. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'll have to go and look at that again. But the thing is, the chin was suspect
It
even
was.
then.
But what do you think,
And
Neutral, to the actual
Linares
fact?
wasn't on Osterine. Let's get that
Yeah.
straight.
What do you think to the actual fact that Devin Haney is actually saying that he is going to sue Ryan Garcia and his team because he genuinely believes that he's impacted his future earnings? Do you think that's real? Do you think
Yes.
he's hurt the way that Devin Haney can now claim money for fights? Because like if he
Yes,
fought
because
Tio, it would have been a £10 million fight. Now it's a £2 million fight. Do you genuinely believe that's the case? And how does he
under,
rectify it now with Ryan being
yeah,
pop dirty?
absolutely. Under US court of law, Ryan broke contract,
So they can
right?
hit him for that future earnings.
Even for the prize fight that he signed at 143, he
Yeah.
broke contract by coming in dirty, right? I'm pretty sure under US law that he can sue for part earnings of that fight off Ryan Garcia's purse or his PPV earnings, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
So
all of it, even all of it.
I would expect a class action from the Haneys going forward. But
Yeah.
my point is, see, they do that, James, right? All these fans on Twitter saying, oh, we welcome the rematch, comes in clean, Ryan, all the rest of it. What makes you fucking think Ryan Garcia is going to have anything to do with fucking Devin Haney again when he can earn twice, 3 times as much with a Tank rematch?
Yeah, which he's already claimed to want as well. Well, I'll tell you what, Neutral, let me ask you that then, brother. Who wins that? Tank against Garcia, up at a catch weight of, say, 140, 143. Who wins that? Because obviously Tank's only a 135 as usual. Go up to 143. Who wins that? Tank or Ryan Garcia?
Tank, 7 rounds.
Yes, mate. Yes, absolutely KOs him. Puts him to sleep in a
Tank,
devastating way.
Tank has entered my pound for pound #1 rankings.
I seen
James.
it, mate. I seen it. Number 7, is it? Number 7 in your 10 pound for pound?
Exactly that. And
Yep,
he
seen it, brother.
has impressed me, James, with that knockout of Frank Martin.
Yeah, me
The
too,
bona
mate. Tank
fide,
was fantastic. Frank was even, like, I wouldn't say better, but he was good.
Listen, Tank's always going to lose rounds, James. He's
Yeah,
that type
exactly.
of guy.
He's
I've
that
sussed
style.
him out. It took me on that watch along to finally realize Tank Davis at 29 years of age is a fucking superstar.
Same as me, mate.
I doubted him. I doubted him, James. I told everyone.
I did.
I'm on record. I don't
I
rate
took
him.
Frank to beat him. I took Frank to beat him on points. And he almost,
But
like,
what
Frank was
I
winning that
saw,
fight for me. I had Frank by a point up until the knockout. I had Frank doing a good job. He kept jabbing him, running off, but then he kept putting himself in that corner and just getting slugged on. And once you put yourself in the corner against a banger like Tank, you go into fucking sleep. And that's what happened. He got caught on them ropes and he got slept.
absolutely. And like you said, Frank was doing ever so well till round 6 when them punishing body shots from Tank started to take effect. Round 7, Tank had forced him into that corner. He was sitting down on the attack. You can't do that, Tank. You're
Not with a
gonna,
banger like that.
you're going. So I can only see the same scenario, Jams, when it comes to anybody else. I sincerely think, Jams, that Tank Davis does not need rehydration clauses, does not need catch weights. For me, he can go to 140 right now and knock out every single one of them. Yes.
I would say so. The only person I'd
Every
be worried
single one
about
of
is
them.
if he moved up to
Because he
147 like they're talking about.
downloads you, Jams. He downloads you.
Yeah,
He's
he
so
does. He
good
just
at
texts
that.
in the first 5 and then cleans your clock. Yeah, he does. He like texts in the information, watches your work, and then he finishes what you got. But the only thing that worries me, if he goes up one higher, if he goes up to 147, that's where I worry. And that's what people are talking about now. Against Bud Crawford, Boots Ennis, that likes.
Yeah.
I think that's
But
where he'll find trouble.
by that time, Jams, that would be his 4th weight championship belt. I don't
Only
see him
Manny
going any
Pacquiao, Mayweather
further.
of them likes, isn't it?
I don't see him going any further than 140 unless it's a catch weight.
He shouldn't do.
Um,
Why should he? You know what I mean? He's killing it at
but
the
he
weight he's at.
can
He's
do.
killed it at the
This is the
lowers.
thing. TMT money, Mayweather, just simply haven't had that belief in him in the last 7 years.
That's why he
since he
left.
become a champion, that he could go to these wonderful places and win more belts. Who's next for Tank Davis? Who would you right now want to see Tank Davis in the ring with? Would it be Shakur? Is it going to be Teo?
To be honest.
Is it going to be, sorry, what's the other champion? You're a star.
Leon Parro.
Aye. Well, you won't go to the IBF for it. Not many people
To be
will,
honest, mate.
including Devin Haney, who has turned it down already.
Yeah. I wouldn't want it with
Adam Hurley
Haney.
says Shakur is the one that would give Tank problems. Shakur's movement is it's incredible.
On paper, sorry, Neutral. On paper, Stevenson is the one. On paper. But if we're talking about exciting fights, like what I want to see, like who he should fight, if he fights Shaq, that's a proper level fight. That's a level fight, and whoever's the best boxer will win that. Maybe Tank by knockout, maybe Shaq by outboxing him. But if you want excitement, what about Ismael Barroso?
Ismael Barroso, the WBC champion at 147.
Oh, is it at 147 now? Oh,
he's at 140. He's a welterweight.
I thought he was the interim at 140 still.
No, he's been elevated. Email champ.
Bloody hell. I didn't know that, but that would have been a fight because he can bang as well. You know what I mean? I would love to have seen that. Because imagine them two in, Tank and Ismael Barroso. They could knock each other clean out.
To be honest, Jams, Barroso for me has got to be the weakest welterweight champion in history. Cheers.
He is. He's 42 years old, but he can bang, mate. He can bang. He's dangerous. And that's what Tank needs, someone dangerous. Because Shaq is just going to outbox him for 12 rounds. You know what I mean? You've got Leon Parro who's just going to dance around and stay out of his way for 12 rounds. I want to see someone who's going to come and put a smack on him.
I want to see.
Chin. Have you ever seen Tank actually get smacked in the chops? I want to see him get clean.
Frank Martin caught him flush.
No,
Frank Martin caught him flush.
I mean, from a big puncher. From a big puncher. A big puncher.
And that was the missing. that was the missing ingredient for me with Tank.
Yeah,
If I'm
against
being
Martin.
honest.
Martin was fantastic for that
No,
first
no,
six,
no.
well, 5
It's the
rounds, 4 or 5.
ability, like you said, it's the ability to take a punch. And I don't think any of Tank's, apart from Pitbull in that fight, I
Yeah,
don't think many of Tank's opponents have troubled them with power as much as both Pitbull and Frank Martin did.
yeah. Pitbull Cruz can
But
bang. He can
what
bang, to
I
be fair.
saw there in that performance from Tank Jams, what I saw there was that, oh fuck, I'm gonna knock you out. That's what I've been missing with him.
Yeah,
Before he was getting told by Mayweather, his corner, you're behind, blah blah blah, and he's gone out and got the knockout. But this time was different. He wasn't told. He had already downloaded the information of Frank
yeah.
Martin. He let Frank Martin gas himself out. Round 6, in round 7, he knocked him out. I was just going to say that there's a comment in the chat from Lucy and also Adam Hurley.
I think she's
You're
on about
talking
William Zepeda,
exciting.
was
How
it?
about Zapida? William
Yeah,
Zapida. I
William
love
Zepeda.
William
I've seen that
Zapida.
one.
I love
Lucy
that
knows her
guy.
stuff. Big up, Lucy.
I would like to see Liam Parrow versus William Zapida if they're in the same rankings. I'm sure they
Tell you
are.
what, Neutral, can we talk about Parrot's performance against Subriel Matisse, the boogeyman? What a
Take it
fucking
away.
performance. It was just the way he actually just stayed on the outside and just boxed his way in against the well-known boogeyman who everyone was scared of. And I've always said this, and no one would listen to me. The only way to beat the boogeyman like that is to stay on the outside, pop, 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 bang. Stay out, pop, 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 bang. And that's what Leon Porro done all night long. And look what he did. He defeated the undefeated. And it was a punch perfect performance from Leon Porro. That's a lot of peas to get out from my mouth, by the way. But yeah, he
I
absolutely purposely defeated the undefeated Subriel Matrice did Leon Barrow. It was a fantastic performance. The Australian made me so proud. I even put a message out on Boxing Media Hub. I was so proud. He was fantastic. And he showed that Matthias was never that boogeyman.
You are definitely 10% Australian. Big up to you, sir.
I've had based over
Did
there in
I
the army for
voice
a
what you
while, but
name? But
I've got a
listen,
lot
no,
of love for
look,
the Australians, mate. A lot of
you're
love for the Australians.
absolutely correct, Liam Parrow. Do you know what the funny thing was? I was doing my watch along for the main event that night with, oh my God, who was it?
It would have been the tank
Tank.
one, mate. The Tank Martin.
Aye, Tank Martin fight.
They were at the same time.
Rico was on with me, and
I know, I've
he
seen it.
he was doing the background for the Paro Matthias fight, and I can only echo what you were saying. He was saying exactly the same things, during my watch along, and it was great. We got the 2 watch alongs in one, which was good fun.
Yeah, I remember because Rico had his back when Tank knocked out Frank Martin. Rico had his back to the screen, didn't he? You had to tell him, Rico, he's just knocked him out. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Rico
he
had his
had
head
to
to the screen. He was facing that
each
way, and you had
other
to
right.
turn him round.
Yeah.
I watched it,
Well,
mate. I watched it. It was brilliant.
Jams
Quality
is look.
YouTube television.
Jams, it looks like we've lost our American chums to the Wi-Fi connections.
Don't
Obviously,
worry, mate.
He was out driving. But listen, they're here every time our talk is on, right? As we said, the Ryan Garcia case is now closed. No more to be said on Twitter.
No,
The
it's done.
result is the result. As one
It's spent.
story closes, another one comes up, and that story, if Matt was still here, would be the Brunch and Boxing interview with Christina Linadatu
Oh, brilliant.
about her experience with Alicia
Failing
Baumgardner
pets.
and her own drug problems,
Yeah.
drug test problems on that. So, having said that, as we said, the Garcia case is now closed. I don't care about it anymore. It's done.
So
Whatever.
nobody message Neutral online about it. It's done. We don't
Forget
care
it.
anymore.
I'm not.
It's over.
I,
It's game, set,
I
and
don't
match.
care. The
We're done with that
engagement
now.
is done. The engagement's done.
It's all
I'm
she
not
wrote.
arguing.
It's
I'm
all
not
she wrote.
arguing the point anymore. But
That's
it's
it.
been good fun, Jams.
God bless
With you
Neutral.
as my right hand man tonight. Thank you for coming along. Absolute pleasure. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, check out D-Rock Clothing. Get 40% off in the promo box through the catalogue, as worn by Johnny Nelson, Joseph Parker, and the legend that is Jams. There he
Yes,
is.
sir.
Mim, you absolutely look cool in that.
I look slick in my
Absolutely
tracky.
tremendous stuff. Listen, I'm
bless you,
Neutral.
sir.
That is Jams. This was Hard Talk USA. See you soon.
God bless y'all.
It's another bang. All the Muslim calls now, whichever get up. I start my cards with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bag,